Hello, everybody. It is Finch here. We are back with the first game of the finals of SPL. We have Men's Meat on one side, not to be confused with Men's Meat, if you will, and Insult on the other side. Both of them are not only using Incineroar, but leading with it, interestingly enough. See a pretty solid balance on the other side. Outside of Incineroar with Ditto, Clefable, Seismitoad, Charlie the Rocker, Corviknight, Likely Defogger, and Dragapult built-in secondary speed control measure on Insult's team, whereas Mincemeat using Dracovish, also having Seismitoad on his side, Clefable, Corviknight as well, and Kirim. So we see both of them using Incineroar, Corviknight, Seismitoad, Clefable. That's kind of a four Pokemon core, if you will. But then we see Dracovish on one end, whereas the Dragon type on the other end happens to be Dragapult. And then on the other side, there's a Kyurem as opposed to a Ditto. So that's interesting. And Kyurem actually does look pretty decent in this game, especially if this Incineroar takes damage, which now it's more susceptible to doing so with the heavy duty boots knocked off. Of course, you're supposed to get in safely, and everything besides really Seismitoad directly pressures it pretty nicely. So that can be taken care of a little bit, and also Ditto can kind of counter it in a sense that a countermeasure to it in the sense that if say Kyurem gets a kill launching the Ice Beam, if the opposing Incineroar is also weakened, then Ice Beam does look pretty threatening, especially if you get a knockoff on Clef. Corviknight might be especially defensive though. I'm looking at it, and yeah, I think that both Corviknight are especially defensive. So I think Mincemeat's a bit more prepared for the non-spec Kyurem. Anyway, we're going to see a very slight early advantage here for Insult as they both trade knockoffs with Incineroars, but then after a knockoff on a taunt, the opposing Incineroar doesn't really want to party shut out. It just stays in and spams knockoff, whereas the other one can't party shut out, and he just lets the Seismitoad take the knockoff. And now Clefable is going to come out in here on the Stealth Rocks. So the Rocks are now up for the mncmt side. Insult does have the Clefable no, which can potentially teleport. You can chip off. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what set it is. I'm thinking it could be Calm Mind, but it could also be Teleport. Really hard to say. If this is Life Orb, it will definitely be Calm Mind. But yeah, okay, it's Wish Teleport, which is the standard right now. It makes a lot of sense. Um, Looking at mncmt's team, I think those are the right letters. This guy's weird, his name. But he's not going to really break through with Dracovish in your early game. However, Kyurem is kind of the main. Oh, and it's going to be Wish plus Thunderwave. That's interesting. Um, so he's going to get a Thunderwave off on that Corviknight. Then he's going to get a Wish up here. Interesting. Okay. You could use that to try and heal him to Incineroar, which is at 83% after rocks. It'll be just barely above half, but body press would still put it outside of Wish Recovery at the full range, but it might not be body press, let alone go for it into the Fable. So we'll have to wait and see here. Um, Definitely hinges on what they anticipate in the coming turns. And he is indeed going to go Incineroar. And Dracovish is going to come in on the other side. Okay. Um, so we're going to see that both Incineroar is going to end up in again. Sorry, I just had to see something really quickly. Um, Now it's a bit of a trade here, as we could see a knockoff in turn for Rock, or we could see just damage done from the Seismitoad. We're gonna see the Earth Power. Okay, interesting. It's gonna do 36, 38 rather, get the drop. Um, Now I assume we're gonna see Rocks here, as the parting shot comes on out. Okay. And yep, there are the Rocks. Okay, that's fine. Rocks go up, one Clefable's in. We're gonna see Teleport. As the Corviknight comes on in here. So now it could defog potentially. It's actually going to go for the Iron Handle. It's going to do half damage here. Okay, so might want to protect it off. Or if it's not protecting it, soft-boiled rather since it's not teleport. Yeah, it's going to be the soft-boiled indeed. And that's the fine play as well. So the Wish is kind of irrelevant there. I think he's probably heal up like 1 or 2 HP. But yeah, we're really going to have to wait and see. We're going to see a Wish here again on the Iron Head. So we're just trying to wait until you get all the way back to the full, I guess. Or like Wish on a fully paralysis turn. He's going to defog there, which is smart. And now the clock's back up to full. But rock shot from both sides. And one seismitoad is knocking at 74, the other one's knocking at 81. Ironhead again doing a little over half, no full paralysis lock yet. And Softball again is going to wish it up. It's fine. And finally, we're just going to see it give up. He's going to go to the Incineroar here, taking that Iron Head for 6% damage, leaving it around, still fairly close to full health. It's probably going to scare out this Corviknight. You have to wonder if he's going to go into his own Incineroar or the Clefable. I don't know if he's necessarily likely to go into Seismitoad, as it would be taking quite a bit of chip, or also potentially conceding momentum to the parting shot, to where something like Dragapult could come on in. It's really hard to say. I don't really know how Insult's team breaks anything, honestly. I guess that's my main quarrel with it. Like, I kind of, that's why I was a bit hesitant to say I was Wish Clefable, because I figured it might be Calm. He's going to go for the Wisp, and he's going to connect against the Seismitoad, so. Taunt plus Wisp plus Knock, interesting. So maybe not Parting Shot, or maybe no Fire move. We'll have to wait and see. Hmm. We're going to see rocks there as the other Seismitoad also comes on in. Interesting. And that's going to allow the Kyurem to come in. Okay, that's fine. So with the Kyurem in there, just trying to figure this out here. I guess he's just going to go for the Freeze Dry or Draco here. It depends, because Freeze Dry probably doesn't 2 kill Clef. Um, 93 with leftovers up. Maybe it's a roll too. I guess that's the safe play with rocks up. He's gonna go on Incineroar though, so if that takes a Draco, that's huge. But no, he's gonna. Oh, Ice Beam is a bit of a mid ground. Okay, and it's gonna do 26, so it's a roll to a KO. But he would have to take knockoff. Oh no, not a roll. It's definitely 2 KOs, but he'd have to take knockoff. So he'd probably have to go for like Ice Beam and like Earth Power or Draco to 2 KO. So let's wait and see. But with this Incineroar being really low, that looks good from mncmt so far at least. Um, hmm. We're just trying to wait and see. Is he gonna say, okay, seeing as this is my only ice cream track, I really have to get this specs off, so like, please check with Clefable? I think so, and I think then he's gonna just let go of this, honestly, because I don't think he wants to risk giving a lot of freeze turns with Clefable and whatnot. But no, actually, MNCMT is gonna retreat, letting the Seismitoad take the knockoff, saying, okay, I'll take that chip, that's fine, because next round I could kill. So yeah, the early game knock sequence actually did favor MNCMT probably at this point, I'd say. So that's good. He's going to go for knock, and then we're going to see Clefable and Clefable action. Okay, so it could really have wish possibilities here, but the one awkward thing for Insult side is that he likes teleport, but he gets the Thunder Wave off and that paralyzes the fully. Twice in a row, in fact. And now the wish can be passed to Seismitoad on the Moonblast, so it's going to be some chip. It's not going to leave it all the way at full, but that's fine. And now he's going to get the Kyurem back in against the Seismitoad went for knockoff into the Clefable, which is good. But now it looks like Ice Beam slash Freeze Dry pretty much picks a kill. So bit of a rough spot for Insult. He's going to elect to just let go of the Incineroar, which does make some sense here. And it's probably going to let him get the Dragapult in at least. So that is cool, especially with rocks up. He could really pose a threat. And I don't even think he's necessarily obligated to click Draco. I don't think there's any way in which MNCMT stays in here after clicking Ice Beam. Um, And with the Clefable status, Texas looks quite threatening here. So I'd say that while, especially with coordinate status, wow, yeah, this Dragon Ball looks fantastic. So despite the Kyurem looking like it's making really a ton of progress early on, it actually is Insult positioning himself really nicely for a late game with Dragapult as well, simultaneously. So, therefore, I think this game is very much within Insult's reach, if not completely favorable to him at this point. Of course, if Kyurem can get in safely a couple more times and pick up a kill each time, then that's good. But he still has to avoid potential paralysis against this Dragapult, and that is if he's specially defensive invested. If not, then it could just potentially took you out, either the Corviknight or Clefable. And then, of course, there's also Dragapult, which might be able to take two hexes, but it will die to a Draco even without the hex damage, as it's at 25% after rock. So, yeah. And he's just going to stand on the Draco, which is really bizarre over prediction there from mncmt. I had hexed click LOL. Not too. I don't think it would have ever. I think a Draco. I think U-turn was the play if you didn't Draco, just because. Then at least you can not lose your Dragapult, but rather you could lose something else. Although I think Draco was ultimately the right play. Anyway, this looks really good now for the insult side. Sorry, the music just changed there, but anyway, that's exciting. We see U-turn here. On the full paralysis, which can heal that up. Back to Corviknight here. And the Wish, and heal that up again with leftovers. Now we're going to go for the Iron Head. Okay. And it's going to flinch him so he couldn't teleport out. But he's going to have multiple chances, which leave him back up full if he wishes to pursue this. Instead, he's going to go Corviknight, which is paralyzed but not knocked, so that's cool. Iron Head is going to only do 10% U-turn here. Dragapult's going to come on in on another full paralysis. Okay, so it looks pretty good for Insult, as he's going to be able to Hex on through it and crit on a... Oh my gosh, it's just raining down on mncmt now. Really unfortunate. Um, and now he's just going to let go to Seismitoad. And I don't really think there's much that mncmt can do at this point. You go Clefable, sure, which is going to force a U-turn, but Clefable is going to eventually run out of Wish PP and be forced out between Corv and opposing Clef, whatnot. So it looks really good for Insult at this point, who's not only up 5-4, but also is going to get a kill every time Dragapult comes in, pretty much, against him that's not Clefable, of course. I'm going to go for the Moonblast here, just trying to take out a greedy Dragapult, but obviously that wasn't going to be the case ever. Iron Head here is into 38, and it's going to allow for the Wish. Okay, so that's something, but wait, now can he go Incineroar here? I think Incineroar might be the play. So he's going to go to Incineroar. Incineroar is going to get the Wish. Um, um, yeah. So I imagine that he's just going to end up going for... Oh, he didn't even bother risking U-turn. He might have been slow variant or something like that. But he's going to go Ditto here to trace that, eat the Flare Blitz for 19%, and get the Intimidate off, which is fine. Now we can potentially just see what moves it as. Oh yeah, didn't run U-turn, run Parting Shot. What am I saying? Wait, no, I was talking about the... Oh my god, I was talking about the Corviknight. I guess the Corviknight was scared of the Incineroar being faster. Yeah, sorry. Corviknight doesn't run Parting Shot, it runs U-turn. So it would in fact have gotten U-turn off if it was faster and stayed in. But anyway, now we have Dittoed Incineroar versus opposing Incineroar, both in the 60s. The Dittoed one a little bit higher, and he's going to go for the Flare Blitz. It's not intimidating, do 21. For some reason, the music stopped. I got to pause for a millisecond, but we're going to see a Parting Shot in the cleft there. Makes sense. All right, we're back. So now we're going to see some Clefable on Incineroar action. I'd have to imagine that if you're going to fish here, you could just go for the Flare Blitz, but I think Corviknight's the safe play, and he's going to do that on the Paralysis, which is really good for Insult. And he's getting all of these Paralysis, which is not necessarily needed so much as they're just lucky in the sense that speeding it up and eliminating chances for mncmt to kind of claw back in. eliminating chance for Insult to choke. I'm going to bring this in on Ironhead the Dracovish, but I'd have to imagine it just means Sazmatoad's going to come out in here to try and check the Fish's Friend. Um, I think mncmt kind of knows that, so it's a matter of what other move he goes for into this Seismitoad. Instead, he's going to elect to double switch as Slav comes in as a mid ground, being scared of Outrage. That makes a ton of sense from the insult side, in fact. It's actually going to pay dividends here, as you could just go for a Moonblast and try and threaten this by chipping it down. It's going to be 32% damage, so Wish. So now if this Protect happens on a full paralysis system, the game pretty much ends here, but it's not, no full paralysis, so that gives a safe round there to the mncmt side. Another Moonblast there. Special attack drop. Paralysis. Yup, yup, yup. So now we're back in the same exact position with the special attack drop. And another paralysis. Yeah, it's kind of a fitting end to MMTMT's season after the way this game has went, unfortunately. Looks as if the Classiest are going to emerge victorious in this battle with a lot of paralysis luck. Definitely took some chances out of MNTMT's hand. However, Insult did play a good game, and I think had the upper hand regardless. And Corviknight's actually going to live the Fish's Run, which I find to be hilarious. Either way, just going to go for another there. That's fine. Now Seismitoad's going to come on in. Of course, being able to soak this up. There's a risk-free sequence, and Clef wasn't really needed. The Corviknight wasn't really needed with Clef dead, so yeah. Now the opposing Corviknight's going to come in at 1% paralyzed, and it's going to take the Skull and die off. So it's going to be 4-2 now in favor of Insult. Pretty much trading Pokemon at this point. However, I don't see what kills the Seismitoad. MNTMT says good game, I guess, and forfeits, and that's going to be that. So Insult's going to emerge victorious here in an unfortunate game for the Ruiners, unfortunate game for the Classiest, but definitely well played nevertheless. And I feel like he had the advantage in the long term with that Dragapult anyway. So yeah, this is Finch. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.